So today I'm in Amsterdam at the Q Factory for this year's, and I believe it's the first one, Bliss Fest. The festival organized by Chase Bliss with like great loopy, flippy pedals and some other friends. So as I said, it's the first Bliss Fest and I'm standing here with Mr. Tyler from Chase Bliss.
Happy to be here.
Great for organizing that, but for having us to it today at the Bliss Fest. So it's the first Bliss Fest?
Yes, first Bliss Fest, yeah.
How did it start out? Because
yeah, we moved here about 3 years ago to start the EU hub, and it took us a while to kind of set up in a new location and get ourselves kind of like settled in. And we've been wanting to do an event like this for a while. I mean, we do stuff like this in the US a lot. So we do a lot of stuff in the US. You know, we do a lot of like other pedal companies will arrange stuff, sometimes at like breweries or little small restaurants, and they'll have little kind of demo stations. And we wanted to do something like this over here. We go to a lot of trade shows a lot. You know, we go super booth and stuff, but we hadn't really noticed that there was like guitar pedal focused events where like the brands were kind of, you know, communicating with each other. And so our big hope with doing this was that we could create more, or at least contribute more to the community of like European guitar pedal builders, and try to just like get to know each other a little bit more, and yeah, do something cool that would be fun for everybody.
Because for the people who don't know about Chase Bliss, what is Chase Bliss? Because I think it's really funny because you just said guitar pedal company.
Yeah.
I actually know you more from like the creative freaky synthesizer guys who are using the pedal. So tell us a little bit what is Chase Bliss and...
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I actually don't play guitar myself. I'm a synthesizer player. So a lot of the stuff that I like to do is definitely like the synth focused pedals, but our whole kind of design ethos is just creating an effect that provides as much as control and customization over like an unusual or interesting kind of sound. So with our newer pedals, they're all fully stereo. They can all handle line level signals. Every parameter can be manipulated with MIDI messages or CV messages. You can save a ton of presets. So they do really work well with synth setups and being able to do like MIDI controllers and things like that, just because of the level of customization that we have. But yeah, so we do say we're a guitar pedal company, but I think lately we've been saying more of just like effects pedals or effects company, because we don't want to limit anybody's experience. They work with everything. Yeah.
And what's your favorite pedal?
It's hard to say. I think it tends to always be the newest pedal because I think that's always the most exciting. But when I'm like, when we get repairs, and we do all the repairs out here now as well. So when we're fixing someone's pedals and we have to test them to make sure everything works, the one that I get the most distracted by is Onward. That's the one that I'll know that it works, but I'm like, well, what if it didn't still? And I'll kind of like mess around with it. So that's the one that I think is the most inspiring in terms of that. Like I always, it's hard to stop playing, I think. Yeah.
Well, just try the onward downstairs.
Oh, with the CHOMPI? Yeah, yeah.
It's really nice.
Really fun, yeah.
Well, for the people who don't know, we emailed last week, so with context, how this festival was.
Yes.
But looking at Chase Bliss, it are not like your regular simple pedals. So they've got a lot of effects and options.
Totally.
And to be honest, for me, it was like a little bit overwhelming, complicated. So like, what will be the right pedal for me?
Right. Yeah. Totally. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, a lot of people have that experience where they want to be into it, but they don't know exactly where to start. And so that was really cool last year where we could do the mystery box promotion. People could spend a little bit less and get something that we would kind of choose for them. So that was a fun thing for a lot of people to kind of get into the brand. I think also a good one to start with is Mood Mark II. It's definitely weird, but it's our most popular pedal. I think pedals like Onward and Mood are just kind of like, even if you don't know exactly what's happening, they're immediately just fun and rewarding, and turn on some switches and turn some knobs and like interesting sounds.
And what's the difference between Mood and Onward?
Yeah, they're definitely similar, that they're both 2-channel pedals. So each foot switch does like a different effect essentially, but on Mood, One side is just like reverbs and granular delays and things like that. And then the other side is an always listening micro looper. So it works in a weird way where, you know, you don't tell it when to start recording, you just tell it when to start playing. So that can be kind of interesting where something that you don't really expect to hear is going to come back because it's something you just did a little bit ago. And then you can control everything with like a clock control that turns the sample rate down and kind of like smears everything all together in weird ways. So yeah, that one's, it's more of like you play something and then you manipulate it. Whereas with Onward, it follows along so immediately that whatever you're doing, it's kind of like you're playing with it in a very interactive way, I think.
It keeps on modulating and
Yeah.
freaking out.
And again, every time you play with Onward, it resamples. So yeah, it's always listening to you and following you. But then you can tell it, you know, specifically what kind of weird effects you want to have. You want to have like octave effects or different like errors and things like that. So you can really customize what it's going to do, and it's a lot more predictable, I think, than Mood Mark II is a little bit unpredictable.
And with like the errors on like the Onward, it's also possible to sync it with like in tempo with your song?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so you can MIDI clock the whole pedal, and that's what's really cool with you know, using it with CHOMPI or something. I really like to do it specifically with drum machines, where you can sync it with a drum machine, and then one of the errors is called size error, and it'll take the size of the sample and resize it, but it'll be quantized to a beat. So you get, especially with like drums, it can do this really cool like beat repeat thing, but in a random way. But no matter what, it's always like clocked to that overall signal. So yeah, it can do really kind of interesting, unpredictable things, but it's never going to get out of control. It's always locked in. Yeah.
Oh. Well, and also like the backward effect, like the randomness backward
Yes.
playing and.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think having the MIDI clock definitely opens up a lot of customization. But even with Onward, if you don't use a MIDI clock, if you just have like a drum machine, because of the like way that it always samples, it's still going to follow along and be like in time with you. But it won't be quite as locked in. It'll be a little bit laggy, a little bit kind of sluggish in a cool way though.
Yeah, really great. Well, I'm gonna check some of the order books because
Nice.
I also want to be here for the giveaways.
Nice, perfect.
Always nice to giveaways.
That's right. Yeah.
like why we make content, because we like poor bastards. And,
Yeah, right. I hear you.
but, so I will see you around at the end and hopefully maybe soon somewhere else in the near future.
Sounds
Thank
great.
you very much.
Hey, thank you.
Yep,
Appreciate
thank
it. Yeah.
So now I am at the CHOMPI booth, and I've never heard of CHOMPI, but I'm standing to Tobias and he's the inventor of the CHOMPI. And I just tried it and I think it's a really nice and lovely sampler playing around device. But you can tell us quickly all about it.
Well, thank you so much. So let's show a little bit about CHOMPI. I'll just kind of start with the top layer here. So CHOMPI is a sampler, meaning it's not going to make any sounds unless we actually record the sounds in or we bring sounds in with the micro SD card. So the idea behind CHOMPI is that it makes the process of recording and editing and then layering sounds and getting something musical with them as hopefully as quick as possible. So the steps are really simple. When you boot it up, you know, you automatically do have some presets that you can work with, but I'm just...
So you get it when you buy it, or already some presets in it?
You'll have some presets to work with, but most people, they like to make sounds right away with the built-in microphone here. And then you can also record sounds with the aux input. So I'm actually sending the mic into it via the aux input for the sake of just this room. So when I flip the switch up, it automatically gives me a signal that I'm hearing in my headphones, but the audience actually doesn't hear that, so we don't get feedback. So let's just make a sound here. If I just am talking and I press this key down, after I release the key, I've just made a sample. It's immediately on the keyboard with 7-voice polyphony. So I can play 2 octaves of it automatically. Obviously, that's not a very musical sample, so let's try something a little more musical. Okay. Now we can hear our sample. Let's say I like that one. Now I flip the switch down, and now I can edit that sample. So we have these encoders here, and the encoders are endless, so that means we can have multiple pages, but for now, let's just start on the top pages. The first one is pitch. Right now I have the pitch set to quantize to fifths and octaves on this one. And if I go all the way to slowest, it'll start reversing itself. So you can have, with one knob, a lot of control over your pitch and direction. Then we have the sample start point and the end point of our window. So if I do this, I can kind of hear there was a little gap, and now it's more smooth. I just trimmed that end point a little bit. And then now, you know, we could go into attack and decay. There's, on the second pages here, we can make the attack a little longer. And then let's make our release a little, it'll kind of just carry out a little bit better. So then, let's say I like that, and now I want to start adding effects to it. That's what this knob here does. So the effects on this firmware, right now we have reverb to the right side, which is a nice stereo reverb. And then on the left side, we can separate it to a delay. It's like a nice tape. And this is gonna sound, because of this material, it sounds kind of similar to the reverb. If we have something that's a bit more percussive, we would hear that, but it's like a ping pong stereo delay. If I press the encoder, we move to the second effect, which is a tape saturation. So I can bring that in here. And then let's do, the third page is a filter. The filter is high pass to the right and low pass to the left. Let's remove a little bit of that low end, keeping it nice and airy. Okay, so now we got a sound that we like. All those steps lead us to the spot where, okay, maybe we want to record something with this. So that's what the looper comes in. For the looper, it works almost identical to how a looper pedal would work on like, let's say, a guitar effect. So we're going to hit this loop key to start recording our loop, and then I'm going to hit it again to start overdubbing. Now, I could have been playing something there, but since I am trying to just keep it simple, let's just pretend that now I can add any material that I'd like, and I can start bringing in some layered chords. And now all of a sudden we have this pad. Now, once it's there, I can change the speed and direction of the loop identically to the speed and direction of my sample. And so it's going to be fifths and octaves just like that. So now I'm in reverse and I'm like a fifth an octave down, and you can even hear, as we were recording, you can hear that sound of the pitch changing. So now I can start recording something else, or I could choose to make a new sample. So in this case, I'm going to record something else while my loop is going. So now I have that guy. Let's bring my reverb in here, and then I'm going to pitch it way up. Okay, let's bring a little bit of that in. So you can hear, I'm just trying to show the example. We were playing it, the loop in reverse. Now I can bring that forward and bring what we just recorded into forward again. And now it just feels like something totally different from what I recorded. And then we can erase our sample here by holding the keys down. And now our loop is fresh to start over again. If we wanted to save that, then there's a whole bunch of slots here on our what basically we call the shift menu. When you hold this key down, when the mode switch is down, it opens up all of these other options. On the left side of this, we have 3 banks of chromatic samples. And on the right one, we have 3 banks of one-shot samples. So the best way to show that is I've imported a bunch of acoustic instruments, and I put each one on its own key, but they're all in the same key structure with same musicality. So I can just know that any note I press down here is gonna fit well together. And this is a cool way to use loops you've stored. If you knew you were saving them in the same key, you could just start to, essentially you're starting with something so simple with a sample, and then you could continue to layer and layer and layer until you get something brand new again.
So it's a good idea to try to sample like instrument, do like everything like an E note or a C note.
Exactly,
So
yeah. And when you bring in samples or record them, it's always good. C is your root pitch. So that's just a good way, to
just
keep
record
it
a C,
thing.
and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
you can layer and play everything together until always will fit.
And if it's something that doesn't have musicality to it in that way, you can tune it, fine tune it, and set it to a C to match the other ones too. But yeah, I'm happy to answer any other questions that you might have, but that's the gist of it.
The first one, it's battery powered?
It is, yeah. So there's a lithium-ion battery in there. It lasts about 4 hours. It's a pretty robust system. It's actually probably similar to a Eurorack module in terms of power draw. So yeah, it lasts about 4 hours pretty consistently, but you can use USB power too. So you can use external power banks and things like that.
And then the Dutch question, how much is it and where can some people get it if they want to get it?
Okay, so the prices are going to be the same. We've recently merged CHOMPI Club with Chase Bliss, and so our companies are now the same company. But we've been working on this next batch for CHOMPI's been sold out for almost a year at this point. So we should be having the next batch this fall. I'm not going to be able to give you a specific date, but I can say the hardware is very close to being finished. And then price point will be $599 just like it was before, but you'll be able to purchase it through the Chase Bliss website now.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for today.
Of course. Thank you so much.
I'm standing here with Christoph from On Guitars, and he makes some really, really unique and cool bass guitars.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Fine. It's for me, it's so cool to have all those unique builders here concentrated here in this room. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah, love it.
Because you make some quite, well, I'm a Fender boy, let me put it that way. I was like Fender, that's the brand. And then when you go up, you don't notice there are also like other brands doing cool stuff. And I noticed your bass and they really look cool.
Thank you.
But can you tell us a little bit more about it for the people who don't know your brand, never heard about it?
Yeah.
And why should I check it out?
Yeah, sure. So I'm building the guitars and basses in my workshop in Munich. So I study graphic design. This is maybe why they look like how they look. And so I'm trying to build instruments which are very inviting, and they show basically the joy of playing them also, just looking at them. And so these have really, this inviting round corners. I wanted to keep them very compact. So this is a 32-inch bass.
Yes.
I call it Pit 5 with a low B string. And this is basically the 4-string version. It's a little bit shorter in scale length. So
it's I'm used to play like jazz basses and like P basses. It's like a little bit shorter. So
exactly,
it doesn't look like the really short scale bass, but it's just something in between.
Yeah, in between, exactly. So it's very comfortable to play. You don't get this stretchy feel all the time. And so this is so these are my basses. And
could you hold it for a moment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's pick it up. Let's feel how it feels.
Yeah, it's classical. It's alder wood with maple neck. All my pickups are made in Greece from Nick Silver pickups, so hand wound on my specifications. And you can see here, I love this switch. It's like a Pultec EQ. So selecting the frequency bands. It's my pickup selector. And here you have a out of phase option, which thins out the bass, but it's cool for playing chords and distorted sounds. And
so it's like out of phase,
bridge, pickup,
both
neck,
single, and then like volume and tone.
Exactly. Yeah. Very simple but effective.
The scale length is really nice, yes.
Yeah. It's especially when people are maybe not bass players every day. So producers, guitarists, it's just easier to dig into those instruments.
And also when you work like in the studio, like tight space around your desk.
Exactly.
Because always like knocking everybody.
Yeah.
And like 6 bolts on it.
7. 7 to be.
7, yes, yeah. German, eh?
It would be okay with 6 as well, but.
And this a passive bass?
It's all passive.
It's all passive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It feels really nice and smooth, and I always like it when it's like more like a satin lacquer, not like the hard lacquer, but like the satin feel like the wood has more room to breathe.
Yeah, exactly. So I try to paint them very thin. It's just one coat. and you can see, you know, when the light hits the
You see a bit of the
wood,
grain.
you see the wood grain. It's wood, yeah, and it's okay to show.
And it's
So-
a one-piece body or
It's
a
three
three
piece.
pieces?
Yeah,
I can see it.
it's hard to see.
But it feels really nice. And
Thank
also
you.
like the neck feel, because
Yeah,
a lot of time there's too much lacquer in it. It's like you have to sand it down before you can play it. But
no, it's all matte. Yeah, yeah, I love it that way. Yeah.
cool tuners also. And for people who are watching this video and are like
Yeah.
interested,
Yeah.
the two most important questions most times: what do they cost and where are you gonna get them?
So for me, they are all custom made in my shop, and they start around 3,200, including German tax, up to 3,700 dish. So for the 5-string, depending on the configuration. So there's an online configurator on my website, so you can check any configuration for my basses and see the prices. They come with a Gator gig bag included normally, which is super cool. And yeah, so you can just contact me on my website, on my Instagram channel, get in contact with me, and we will build
Some to order and
to order and perfect instrument. Yeah.
great. Well, thank you
Cool.
very much.
Thank you very much for your interest.
Okay, I'm standing here with Andrea from AC Noises, all the way from Italy.
Yes, exactly.
So-
From the northern part of Italy, Como Lake.
Could you tell us what do we
So-
have over here?
These are the pedal we have current in our line. This is the Urla, which is a CMOS fuzz with a dual resonant filter, which is a sort of replica of the Korg MS-20 filter, which is my favorite synthesizer ever. And this is the AMA, the version 2 of the AMA, which is a reverb with bit crusher placed after the reverb. And it was our, let's say, our best selling for a while. And this is the latest release. It's a stereo granular reverb called Recorda, and it's our first full digital pedal ever since we started a collaboration with Andrea degli Esposti, who is a developer for us. He wrote an original code for the Recorda, and we are keeping this collaboration going on for another pedal, which is going to be out.
Oh, it's a mystery pedal.
It's a mystery pedal for now, but we are planning to release that during the next autumn, so before the end of the year for sure.
Okay.
That's it.
Could you give us some sound samples?
Sure, why not? And this is the recorder.
Can we get a stem already from you?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Thank you.
Ik doe like zo'n chompie stem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Where are you from? The company?
And just a little moment in between, this video has not been sponsored by Chase Bliss or any of the vendors. So if you like this video, please give a thumbs up below, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of this kind of content. And if you have any questions, drop a comment below, and then that's it. Or if you really like it, please go to my website, subscribe to my newsletter, and you can get my guide for musical creativity 100% for free. And if you don't like that one, there's also other guides you can buy, and if you do that, then you will help me a lot growing my channel. Now let's go back to I'm standing here with Peter, and your company is Tasty Chip Electronics, I read on the back side of your synthesizers.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Could you quick tell what does your company do?
We make synthesizers, music synthesizers, granular music synthesizers, everything for ambient, soundscapes, glitchy IDM stuff. We aim to make stuff for sound designers, like a sound designer's dream come true. Yeah, that's it. We also make FX pedals. That's why we're here at Bliss Fest for the guitars. Yeah.
Okay, I'm standing here with Jeremy from Kernom Pedals. You are from Paris, I understand?
Yeah,
Is it?
that's right.
What do you make? You make pedals?
Yes, we are making pedals for every instrument. So the white one is an overdrive, the yellow one is a fuzz, and the blue one is a multimodulation. In fact, we have a pretty unique concept with this mood knob. You can find out each of our products. It's a way to create the tone you have in your head. So by simply turning this knob on each of the products, you can change the tonal characteristic of the product. So it's a continuous morphing between different sounds, different tonal characteristics on each of our products. So this is the basic concept. So it's an analog circuit with digital control, meaning that you have all the modern features you can expect. MIDI at the back,
Yes.
for synths, internal presets, expression input. So that's it. Pretty simple, unique concept. Yeah, and there are tools to create basically the sound you have in your mind. So yeah.
Let's try some.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I'm standing here with Victor from Butterfly Effects, and well, I just heard you did a really lovely job in your first pedal.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm happy you like it.
Could you take us quickly through it? What was your idea with it? What do you want to create?
Well, I wanted to create a tool that allows to really control all of the stuff that it does. Because I think sometimes in pedals it can be a bit confusing what's happening, or there's a knob that has like a secret thing that it's doing, but you don't really know what's happening. So I think with this one, I really wanted to create something that's understandable what's happening.
Yes. And it really, because I just tried it with like the kalimba, and just easy to understand and just give you the sounds you can, let's say describe correctly, get easy to the effect you want, because you can understand the knobs and what it does, and like get to the kind of sound instead of like just do something and hope something great will turn out.
Yeah, I see. yeah, I'm happy you find that. That's cool.
So it's really great. And thank you very much for this very short interview because it's a really busy day, so I
Yeah,
don't want to
it's
keep
a
you
long
any
day.
longer.
So we are now using here the Antique, which is our tube screamer based on specifically on John Mayer trio type of sound. The Antique is well, as I said, it's based on a tube screamer, but it has more control, like this presence control, because in a context of a mix, of a band mix, you definitely need more brightness to come through the mix. Not really bass. So presence is definitely necessary. Here you also have a toggle switch to control the compression. So here is more compressed or less compressed on the bottom. And then you also have a special mode, which is called hot mode, which is a boost mode, but it enables a boost before and after the overdrive at the same time.
At the same time?
Yeah. So this is controlling the boost, the volume boost, and this is the gain boost. It's almost like having a tube screamer with two channels.
That's right. It's a nice big sound. What else do we got?
We have the Gladio, which is our most famous pedal based on Robert Ford Dumble sound in Cannonball Shuffle. It's our most amp-like pedal, and it sounds like this. Very natural. With a clean control, adding your clean sound on top of the overdrive. So this is zero clean.
So if I'm correct, it's a feedback that's the clean signal. So you can have like a compressed signal and a overdriven signal and a clean signal at the same time.
Yes, exactly. This is just the overdrive, clean at zero.
So it's like almost having like two different amps, but then in one pedal.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly. This one is our take on fuzz. So it's a fuzz followed by an entire Gladio C built in, right? So it gives that kind of solution of, you know, many players that just use a fuzz plus an overdrive. This is already it. It's all in one. Also, you have the same clean control you have here, but it's called comp. So it's basically, because the overall effect with the fuzz is that it controls compression. Also, you have here two different biases, so independent. So if you put it one very down, one very low for gritty and rough sound, and one very high for having a very, you know, violin type of Eric Johnson type of sounds. It sounds like this.
Okay, just to be honest, not my type of sound.
Okay,
to do.
perfect. Okay.
And then we have the...
And then we have the Nucleo, yeah. Very simple. Put everything at noon. And switch it on. With two, yeah, that's perfect.
It's like play a note, get coffee, and still rings when you're done.
That's a beautiful guitar.
Thank you. I forgot actually I was wearing it. So.
You can add shimmer.
Thank you. Thanks.
Not exactly what's similar.
And modulation. And a little bit of grammar.
It's a Danish brand. I saw them on Instagram. Yeah. They're very wild honey. This one I put it for myself. It came with the
Trying to make a chord.
Nice. It looks great. Nice. Do you like trying from brand of guitar? It's also the person I was showing my friend. Yeah.
And now the really special nice thing, they had this like little raffle in the background. If you visited all the vendors, then you could grab a ticket, and I won the nice Mood Mark II pedal. I really love it, happy about it. Gonna try it in the studio. My first Chase Bliss pedal, and I'm really happy to finally have one and can try one and play with it, because this is so much fun.